Ever thought about the spice on your dinner table, pepper, and how it once held the power to change empires? A handful of this black gold was so valuable that people traveled thousands of kilometers, facing storms, deserts, and even pirates, just to get a taste. Wild, right? But this isn't just a story about pepper. It's a glimpse into one of the greatest networks in history, the early Asian trade routes. Today, we're diving into a fascinating part of history, the early Asian trade networks. And trust me, it's more than just moving goods around. These routes connected cultures, spread religions, and shaped empires with the flow of spices, silk, and precious stones. So what role did India play in all this? And why were these trade routes so influential? Let's jump in and uncover the story. Let's start with the big picture. There were two main trade routes connecting Asia to the rest of the world. First, there's the famous Silk Road, a vast network of land routes that stretched from China all the way to the Mediterranean. Imagine this, camels loaded with silk, spices, and jewels, trekking across endless deserts and mountain ranges. And these weren't just short trips. Merchants traveled for months or even years. Then we have the ocean route, the Maritime Spice Route, which was equally important. Ships sailed across Indian Ocean, stopping at ports in India, Southeast Asia, and the Arabian Peninsula. And here's the cool part. This route was powered by monsoon winds. Merchants timed their journeys with the seasons, letting the winds carry them back and forth. India, right in the middle of these routes, was perfectly positioned as a trade hub. Now, why was India such a major player in all this? One word: location. India's ports like Muziris in Kerala, Bharuch in Gujarat, and Tamralipta in Bengal were bustling with activity. Ships from Rome, Persia, Southeast Asia, and beyond would dock here, trading spices, silk, gemstones, and more. But the trade wasn't just about goods, it was about cultural exchange too. As ships came and went, they brought languages, art, and even religious ideas. It's said that walking through these port cities, you'd hear dozens of languages and see influences from all over the world. Traders, monks, explorers, they all left their mark on India, creating a melting pot of cultures. So what exactly was everyone trading? Spices were one of the hottest commodities. Pepper, cinnamon, and cardamom were treated like luxury items. Believe it or not, Roman soldiers were even paid in pepper. India was also known for its textiles. Rich, vibrant fabrics dyed with natural colors that weren't found anywhere else. Then we had gemstones, ivory, and even Indian elephants being shipped off to royal courts across the world. In exchange, India got silk from China, horses from Central Asia, and precious metals from the West. This constant flow of goods made India incredibly wealthy and brought new cultural influences to its shores. Hard to imagine, but this was happening thousands of years ago. There was more than just trade going on here. Along with goods came big ideas like Buddhism. Traders and monks traveling along these routes spread Buddhism from India to China, Japan, and Southeast Asia. Indian art and architecture also found their way into Southeast Asia, inspiring temples, sculptures, and even local languages. Think of it like today's global influences in movies, music, and food. Back then, people in distant lands were influenced by Indian culture, ideas, and art. The trade networks weren't just economic, they were cultural bridges, bringing people and ideas together in ways that would change entire civilizations. With so much wealth at stake, Indian empires weren't just passive players. Empires like the Mauryas, Guptas, and later the Cholas understood the value of protecting these routes. They invested in infrastructure like roads, ports, and even provided protection for traders. The Cholas took it a step further by expanding their naval power to control parts of Southeast Asia, ensuring safe passage for their merchants. Trade wasn't just good for the economy, it was a tool for expanding influence and building alliances. The wealth from these networks funded grand cities, temples, and even universities, leaving a lasting legacy on the Indian subcontinent. But like all things, these ancient trade networks eventually faced challenges. With the arrival of the Portuguese by sea in the late 15th century, the dynamics shifted. They seized control of key Indian ports and dominated the spice trade. Slowly, the traditional land and sea routes declined as European colonial empires took over. This marked the end of an era. India, which had been the center of Asian trade for centuries, now had to navigate a changing world order. So why does this ancient history still matter? These early trade networks laid the groundwork for India's connections with the world. The cultural exchanges, trade innovations, and even the global spread of Indian ideas have roots in this history. Today, when you walk through an Indian spice market or see a temple inspired by South Asian architecture, you're witnessing the legacy of those early trade networks. Ancient trade wasn't just about moving products. It was about shaping the world as we know it. So next time you sprinkle pepper on your food, remember, it once helped set empires in motion. Thanks for joining me on this journey through history. If you found this story interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like these. And tell me in the comments, did you know how valuable spices were back then? Or what surprised you most about India's ancient trade networks? See you in the next video.